Hello everyone, I am Amit Guptani, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, Junagadh. I welcome you all on today's presentation related with the subject Industrial Engineering. In our today's presentation, we will study about the topic that is work measurement. So before we begin our today's presentation, let us have an overview of today's presentation. The first topic that we will study, that is introduction to work measurement. Second topic is purpose of work measurement. Third topic is uses of work measurement, and fourth topic is methods of work measurement. So let us start with our first topic of discussion, that is introduction to work measurement. So what is work measurement? It is an application of techniques which is designed to establish the time for a qualified worker to carry out a specified jobs at defined level of performance. So it will identify the techniques which will be used to record the time taken, or what the time the qualified worker will take to accomplish a job at the levels of performance that they have identified. So work measurement is nothing, or one can say that it is an application of techniques which will use to record the time that the qualified workers will take to complete the job at the defined level of performance. So what will be the time they will take to complete the job? That is recorded with the help of work measurement. It is an application of techniques. Next, it is concerned with investigating, reducing and eliminating those ineffective times, whatever may be the causes. It will identify where the ineffective time takes place, where the time is wasted. It will try to reduce, and it will try to understand what are the causes for this ineffective time to take place. So it will investigate, reduce and eliminate those ineffective times, and ultimately it will help you to complete the job in a more faster way, because here you are eliminating those ineffective times. Or it can be said that it is a means of measuring the time taken. What will be the time the worker will take to perform a specific, or the operator will take to perform a specific operation or series of operation, such that you will segregate, or you will distinguish the ineffective time. So it is used for recording the time taken for the performance of operation or series of operation. It records that, and it will try to identify or investigate, or it will try to reduce the ineffective time, and it will try to find out the causes by which this ineffective time has been occurred. So this is all about introduction of work measurement. Our second topic of discussion, that is purpose of work measurement. What is the purpose of work measurement? It is used to identify the nature and extent of ineffective time from whatever the cause is. Whatever are the causes, it will try to find out how much extent or what is the nature of that ineffective time, and it will take some suitable actions so that it can be eliminated. It is used to set up the standards that are attainable. It will set some standards. So for example, this job should X job should complete in 10 minutes. So it will try to set up the standards by eliminating those ineffective times, and will select the best method that is available to set the standards of performance that are attainable only by if all the avoidable ineffective time is eliminated and work is performed by the best method that is available. For example, if you are in 3 methods for performing the job, and the method which is having least ineffective time, that method will give you the best production rate. So with the help of that method, you can complete the job as faster as possible, and you can use that method as a standard method also, because in that method the ineffective time is less, so it will consume less time and its production rate will be higher, because there is less ineffective time in that particular method. So that method will be used to set the standards, or it will be adopted as a standard method. Our third topic of discussion, uses of work measurement. It is used for comparing the efficiencies of alternative methods, and the method which takes the least time will be the best method. There are three methods and other conditions of operations and place, and that all things remains the same. Then the method which gives better efficiency and the method which takes least time, that method will be the selected method, and that will be the method which we will go with to complete the job or to do the production of the job. So that will be the best method which we will adopt, which gives the best efficiency as well as the which takes least time to complete. Least time is only possible when those ineffective times are reduced or eliminated completely by taking some suitable actions. So that method will be the best method that we will go with. This work measurement also tries to balance the work among the members of the teams or the group of the members. It will try to balance the work within that, and with the help of multiple activity chart. So in our previous video we had seen the multiple activity chart. Multiple activity chart actually is used for recording multiple tasks or multiple activities of the worker as well as operator. Suppose there are two machines and two operators, then it will record what are the activities that simultaneously it will record the activities of machine 1, machine 2 as well as operator 1 and operator 2. So with the help of that multiple activity chart, it will always try to balance the work among the group of peoples or members of teams, and also take care that each member has task taking time. Each member takes equal time to complete the task. It will try to take care that each member has same time or takes an equal time to complete the task. It is also used to identify how much machines an operator or worker can run. With the help of multiple activity charts, it is used to identify or determine how many machines an operator can run simultaneously. So that record can be obtained with the help of multiple activity chart. Our next topic of discussion, methods of work measurement. First method that we will discuss, that is historical data method. Second is time study method. Third is work sampling method, and fourth one is synthesis method. So our first method is historical data method. As the name itself suggests, this method utilizes the past data for its guideline, and this past data will be used for setting up the work performance standard. So this method utilizes the past data for its guideline, and then they will set the work performance standards. The main advantage of this technique is it is easier, it is simple to understand, and it can be easier to implement and quicker to estimate. But this is not best suited for fixing of the performance standards. When you are using this method for setting up some standards, then this method is not suitable. So our second topic or second method of discussion, that is time study. In this method, stopwatch is used for recording the activities that the workers are doing. It was developed by Frederick Winslow Taylor, and this method is best suited for short cycle repetitive jobs. So in this method, stopwatch is used for identifying or for recording the time taken by the worker for the production of jobs. It consists of following steps. The procedure for time study, we will see one by one what procedure it follows for recording. The first step is select the job to be done. So for which job you are recording the time taken, that you will have to select the job. The second step is standardize the method of doing the job. So identify the method that will be used for doing the job. So that is standardizing the method for doing the job. Select the worker to be studied. So which worker or who will be the worker, which worker or who will be that worker that will be doing that job or doing the production of that job with the help of machine. So identify that worker who will be doing that job. Next step, record all the necessary details of jobs and conditions of work, where the working of where the operations or where the production will be done, that all the necessary details for related to the jobs or the conditions or the place at which the work will be taking place, that all the informations should be recorded, and divide those jobs into elements. So suppose for example the job is divided into 3 elements, so this time for each element you will have to record individually. Suppose there are 3 elements, that the whole job is divided into 3 elements, and record the time of each element 1, 2 and 3, and then you will get finally the total time taken for that job by doing the summation of all those 3 elements individually. Finding out the time taken to do every single element, so as we had discussed, record the time taken by each of the 3 elements, and then finally doing the summation of all those 3 elements. That will give you the total time taken for the job to be completed or accomplished. Okay, provision for relaxation, so in between if the worker is tired he can take some rest. Fix the standard time for doing the job. Now our third method of discussion is work sampling method. It was originally developed by Leonard Henry Caleb Tippett in Britain in 1934. This technique is used for observing how much the worker is devoted towards his work, how much time he is spending at the work or the workstation, how much time he is idle and how much time he is working. You can identify with the help of this method, that is work sampling method. So it is used to find out how much time the worker is actually on the job. It checks how long he is working and how much time he is not working. So you can identify with the help of this method how much time he was working on the job and how much time he was idle, means not working. It does not require or it does not involve stopwatch. So here stopwatch is not required, or this method does not utilize the stopwatch for recording. The purpose is simply to estimate what portion of worker's time is devoted towards the work related activity. The purpose of this work sampling method is to estimate what proportion of the worker's time is devoted towards work related activities, means how much time he was working on the job and how much time he was idle. So you can identify with the help of this method, or how much time he was devoted towards his work. This method involves 3 main steps. First one, identifying the activities which are defined as working and those activities which are not defined, means not working, that is defined as not working activities. Observe the workers at selected intervals. You will have to observe the workers at some specified intervals, and recording or writing down in your note whether he was working or not. So it is an observing of the worker at some specified or selected intervals, whether he is working at that time or not, and that information is supposed to be recorded. Now calculation of portion of time T, how much time the worker was working on job. So that is denoted by capital T, and we will calculate this capital P, how much portion of time that worker was working. So with the help of formula, it is equal to number of observations during which working occurred and divided by total number of observations. For example, total number of observations were 10, and during that observation the observer found that the worker was working 7 times. Number of observations during which working occurred. So during 7 times the working occurred out of total 10 number of observations. So one can say that the portion of time P a worker was working, that is 70%. He was dedicated 70% of the time towards his work, and that can be used as a performance standard. Advantages of work sampling. It gives you an unbiased result, since the workmen are not closely observed. So you cannot have the chances of partiality over here, because you are not under close observation in case of work sampling, because you are taking observations randomly at some specified intervals of time. This can be conducted by any person or a limited trained person it doesn't require any skilled person there, so there is no requirement of any experts. So anyone can conduct this work sampling method, and you can interrupt this anytime without affecting the final results. So this is again an advantage. It is economical and less time consuming than time study, because in time study you require every information, who the worker is doing the job, selecting the standard methods of doing the job, every related information that is required for the job that is supposed to be recorded. But in this case it is less time consuming than than time study, and it is more economical. Disadvantages: it is not suitable for small cycle jobs, as well as it is not economical for single worker or small group of workers, because here if you are applying this method for a single worker, then it is costlier, it is not that economical, and it is best suited for a large group of workers. So it is not that much economical if you are going for small group of workers. Another disadvantage is when the observer comes to the observation towards the worker, and if the worker finds that the observer is coming towards his workstation or towards his working area for the observation, then he may change his way of working or normal method of working. So that will not give you the final or accurate results. So that is also a disadvantage, because he will change his method of working if he finds that observer is coming towards him. So you cannot get that much accurate results with the help of work sampling. So this is a disadvantage. So I hope this is all about work sampling. Then last method of discussion is synthesis method. In this method, the whole job is divided into number of elements, and the time taken by each element is recorded individually, and finally the summation of all those individual elements time is added, and you will get the total time taken by the job for doing the job. In this method, it takes reference of the data of the past time studies. So this technique utilizes the data of past time studies of the similar jobs, and it also utilizes standard data. So standard data is the normal time taken for doing the routine jobs. So there are some standard data that is already available for some routine jobs, like for example fitting of screws, drilling. So the time taken for that, you will have that, you can obtain that from the standard data book. You did not need to calculate those time taken by such routine jobs. So we will understand this method with the help of suitable. We will take one example. For example, our job is to publish a book. So we are dividing this publishing of book into 4 elements. First one is typing, editing, printing and binding. So the time taken by each 4 elements we will record, and then ultimately we will get the total time taken for publishing a book. So for example, suppose typing takes 40 days, editing takes 30 days, printing takes 20 days, and binding takes 10 days. So the total time taken for publishing a book will be 100 days. So this information is taken from the previous study of other printing jobs. So you can take the reference of past data for printing of the book, what was the time taken as a reference, or from some standard data, some time that is fixed, that time will be always be needed to do the task. So the benefits of this method is it gives you reliable information about the standard time for doing different jobs, because this is based on past time study. This method utilizes the past data also, and it is used for setting up the standards, because it gives you some reliable informations. It will take reference of some past data, or the past data that the same job has taken, and it will be used for the current method also. Okay, I hope this presentation would have helped you to understand about work measurement and its methods. Thank you.